psychologist?
Well, now I teach parenting. I have a 4-week parenting course, and because parenting's the bottom line, how we raise our children. And when my son was 4, oh goodness, he was so spoiled. His dad and I, we didn't know what we were gonna do, and he was spoiled because we loved him so much, and we thought that the way you show love is you never say no. Ding dong.
Okay, so that's a good point. So many parents just shower the kids with stuff. So is that right? Is that wrong? What is your thoughts on that?
Right. Children don't even want stuff. They want your attention. They'll say they want stuff. If you give a baby, like a 1-year-old, you give them a choice between a fancy toy and a spatula that you use in the kitchen every day, they'll pick the spatula. You give them a chance. I remember when my son was a baby, one day I look over, he's playing in the diaper box. That's just how children are. And we don't have to give them all these fancy things, but what they really want is our attention. And unfortunately, in modern society, attention is at a premium, and a lot of children, in fact, one little child, more than one, I wish my mother looked at me the way she looks at her phone.
I can agree to that because that happens a lot. So you wrote this book. When did you write this book, and why did you write this book?
I wrote this book years ago and put it in a drawer. And it's only in the past couple of years I opened the drawer and there's the book there. And I thought, wait a minute, I think I'll do something with this. It's only 60 pages, Munira, and it's everything that I did to turn my son around. And it's nuggets like as soon as, rather than saying if you say, you know what, as soon as you pick up your toys, we can sit down and talk, or you can watch your movie. As soon as you put your seatbelt on, we can go. As soon as you put the dish in the sink, we can, or as soon as you sit at the table, wash your hands, we can have lunch. As soon as, it's called grandma's rule. That's a really big one. It'll change things. And look for the good. Oftentimes we forget, we correct our children, and connection before correction. Children have goals just like we do. All behavior has a goal. What's your child's goal?
Now, how do you figure that out?
That's how you feel. If you feel aggravated and annoyed, your child's goal is undue attention. So they're constantly wanting your attention. You're like, oh, again. Well, now their goal is attention. If you feel hurt, your child's goal is revenge. And a lot of times, parents who are very authoritarian, my way or the highway, their children try to get revenge on them all the time. And the child isn't a bad child. They don't know how to get power otherwise. Then there are children who want power. And if you're feeling angry and if you're feeling angry, usually your child's wanting power because they feel powerless. So they want to be in control.
How old is your son today?
42.
And you wrote this book.
He was about 10. He was about 10 when I wrote it.
About 30 years ago.
Yeah.
How has parenting changed from the time your son was 10 and now the 10-year-olds that are now?
Well, it's absolutely gotten absolutely worse, where it seems like you have to have attention on the child 24/7, and parents, have to make the children the center point of their lives. You know what? 100 years ago, when we were on the farm, Mom and Dad didn't have time for your BS, okay? You got to get out there, feed the chickens, give the eggs, feed the cows, take care of this, make your bed, take care of your little sister. We didn't have time for all this, oh, now, sweetheart, oh, now, honey, how do you feel today? No, work had to get done. So nowadays, we're so into feelings. Feelings, okay, we have to acknowledge them, but they're not the bottom line. The bottom line is we need to contribute. Families are the basic units of society. A well-working family, a happy family, helps to make a happy, good functioning society. Well, when we have all these families that are absolutely torn apart, don't know what's going on, the children are running the household, we have miserable societies, and we got people that grow up who do not understand there are